What's good, everybody? Man, it's your boy, Mr. CDK, Sports Talk Network. Y'all see the title and the topic, man. We're going to talk about Javante Tank Davis and Calvin Ford and Coach Kenny. We're going to get off into all of that right there. But before I do that, I've been seeing this is going viral right now, and I got to talk about it because a lot of channels are talking about it, and, you got different comments, different thoughts, and different opinions, and, you know, uh, I got to get into it. I got to say what's on my mind about it. And I'm going to play it off of shout out to Dante's Boxing Nation. Definitely went into detail, you know what I'm saying? But I got to break it up myself. And I'm going to play the clip. Hope I don't get in trouble. I'm going to play a little bit of it, you know what I'm saying? And hope I don't get a copyright hit or any of that type of stuff. But I got to let you hear what Bud Crawford said. And I see the other channels are covering it from another channel. So I don't know how they could be mad at me for, just doing the same thing they're doing. I hope it doesn't play out like that, man. I rock with Dante's Boxing Nation. So I don't feel like he'll get too mad about this. But let me go ahead and let y'all hear this. And then I'm going to give you my take on what Mr. Terrence Bud Crawford had to say. And, show y'all why I feel the way I feel about it.
This will be in the Hall of Fame. No, how? He fought in one division. They already called him a weight bully. He unified. He did unify. He beat Kell Brook coming off of a loss, an eye injury. He had to go over there to get that. He beat Sean Porter. Everything that I've accomplished, he's still trying to accomplish. I can retire right now and be in the Hall of Fame. He couldn't.
Man, there's so much to unpack. I almost don't.
Man, did y'all hear that? Didn't hear it. Hold on.
You go ahead and play the clip.
One more time.
Spence will be in the Hall of Fame. No, how? He fought in one division. They already called him a weight bully. He unified. He did unify. He beat Kell Brook coming off of a loss, an eye injury. He had to go over there to get that. He beat Sean Porter. Everything that I've accomplished, he's still trying to accomplish. I can retire right now and be in the Hall of Fame. He couldn't.
Man, there's so much to unpack.
Wow. Terrence Bud Crawford went on Kamaru Usman's he went on Kamaru Usman's podcast, and Kamaru Usman asked him, you know what I'm saying, do you feel like Earl Spence is a Hall of Famer right now? And Terrence Bud Crawford said, how? And he's still trying to accomplish everything that I have accomplished. Now I want y'all to think about what he said. To date, we know that Earl Spence is Terrence Bud Crawford's biggest win. Why would you downplay your biggest win? What does that say about your resume if you're willing to say that your biggest win shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame? I think it was he should have thought about what he was saying. I don't think it was a thought out statement. And I don't feel like that, you know what I'm saying? Listen, Earl Spence accomplished a whole lot at 147 pounds. Whether he went up to this weight class, that weight class, does that really matter? Does it really matter? When you look at their resumes, we have always said that Earl Spence had the better resume than Terrence Bud Crawford. This is a known fact, you know what I'm saying? Well, it's a known opinion that most people feel like Earl Spence has a better resume. So I couldn't understand why Terrence Crawford did that. I actually thought that him and Earl Spence, were okay, that they got along, But it seems like to me that there's something behind that. I even seen Earl Spence pick Terrence Bud Crawford, you know what I'm saying, to beat Canelo Alvarez. He, you know what I'm saying, hate on the man. He didn't say any of that. He thought he would win the fight. So, he said that Earl Spence had to beat Kell Brook after coming off an eye injury. Kamaru Usman said something that made common sense. Earl Spence went over there to Kell Brook's stomping ground and got that victory. He fought Kell Brook in 2017, folks, where we see Terrence Bud Crawford fought him in 2020. Kell Brook was a shell of himself once he fought him. He said Sean Porter, right? Earl Spence fought a prime Sean Porter. He fought Sean Porter in his prime. Whereas, Sean Porter, to me, was on the outs when he faced Terrence Bud Crawford. So I don't think it makes sense, Bud's argument or his beliefs of Earl Spence being a Hall of Famer, because it's almost like saying if Earl Spence don't belong in the Hall of Fame, you don't need him. You see what I'm saying? To me, that's how I look at it. I think sometimes people need to really pay attention to what they say and how they say it, because that didn't make sense. I definitely wanted to say that. A lot of people are talking about, whether or not, Terrence Crawford comments have any merit, and I don't think it has any merit. I think that Terrence Bud Crawford, really wasn't thinking about what he was saying. But it's okay. Sometimes, people gonna say what they want to say, even if it doesn't make sense. You understand what I'm saying? So I definitely wanted to get in that. I had to bring up the fact that Bud right now, for some reason, is kind of downplaying what Errol Spence has accomplished. He even called Errol Spence a weight bully. He said people were talking about Errol Spence being a weight bully. And anybody should know anything. Terrence Bud Crawford should know that when it comes to weight bullying and that type of conversation, most every boxer in boxing, when Terrence Crawford fought Gamboa, we could consider him to be a weight bully then, right? We could say that he was a weight bully when he fought Gamboa. See, sometimes you got to watch what you say and how you say it, because some of the things you say might also apply to you. Now, we're going to move on, man. I just wanted to bring that up, and just see how people feel about it. But we definitely going to move on. And what I got to talk about and address now is none other than the fact that, man, right now, at this moment, a lot of people are still talking about, Coach Kenny and Coach Calvin. Listen, Tank Davis has said that, we know he got Coach Calvin tattooed on him. He said that Coach Calvin is like a father figure. We heard about the times that Coach Calvin would take Tank Davis to work, take Tank Davis to work with him. Listen, father figure. Me and my father, my father was sort of like me in the beginning. I was in the streets, and for a long time, my mother raised me. But me and my father have a wonderful relationship. And, if my father was my trainer, there is no way possible anyone would be saying that I got my father taking an allowance, I'm not paying him. Those type of comments and a way of thinking wouldn't even be it wouldn't even be anything to talk about. We've heard over and over, people say like Bill Haney that Coach Calvin is broke, that Tank's not paying him. I don't know whether that's true or not. I don't want to believe it, but I do know something is going on. We hear all the stuff about Coach Barry Hunter has been a part of the team, and that may be true. Barry Hunter may be a part of the team. But what I don't understand is this, why would anyone, take and trade out what is going great for them? For a long time now, Coach Calvin and Gervonta Tank Davis have not missed. You understand what I'm saying? The perfect record. They hadn't missed together. And then all of a sudden, you decide, well, I'm not going to ride with Calvin this time. I'm going to have Barry Hunter in my corner. That tells me right there, no matter what nobody says, man, something's going on behind the scenes. You don't just change up in the middle of the race unless something isn't going right. So we got to know that for whatever reason, Tank decided it was time to do something different. Now, one thing about Coach Calvin, he loves Tank. No matter what nobody say, you're not going to never hear him, say one bad word about Tank. I think Coach Calvin always downplays the situation. He tries to always paint Tank in a great light. And, man, that's commendable. And I understand that. That's the love of a father. When you love your child, no matter what your child does, you're going to always try to hold your child up and keep them in a good light. You don't want to, have anybody or hear anybody say anything about your child that you feel like, it's going to paint a bad picture of them. You know what I'm saying? Salute to the only Lion fan not in Detroit. No, man, it's not true, man. I just seen BBO about 30 people, man, that's Lion fans. But I know you didn't catch it, but I was sitting there talking about before I got off, and I've been talking about, Tank. But I also hit on the topic of something that was said this morning or yesterday from Terrence Bud Crawford. And I don't know if you heard it or not, but I'm going to play it.
So Terrence Crawford.
One second. I want you to hear this. I want to hear what you think about this.
He says that Errol Spence,
you know what I'm saying? Because I thought it was crazy for Bud to say what he said. And it tells you a lot about his thinking in his resume. You know what I'm saying? But this is what he had to say.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on?
And this comes Dante's Boxing Nation. Shout out to him.
Terrence Crawford, he says the dumbest thing ever. He says that Errol Spence is not a Hall of Famer. Now, before I pull out the chalkboard and break this down,
this is what I want y'all to hear right here.
Spence will be no Hall of Fame. No, how? He fought in one division. They already called him a weight bully. He unified. He beat Kell Brook coming off of a loss, an eye injury. He had to go over there to get that. He beat Sean Porter. Everything that I've accomplished, he's still trying to accomplish. I can retire right now and be in the Hall of Fame. He couldn't.
Man, there's so much to
Man,
unpack.
that was a whole lot. Like, shout out to Dante's Boxing Nation, and that was a lot to unpack. And like I said earlier, BVO, your biggest win is Earl Spence. That is the biggest win on your resume. That is the win that people, base your career off of. Why say something like that? Why downplay what that man has done? The Kell Brook, Earl Spence beat Kell Brook in 2017. Terrence Bud Crawford beat him in 2020. Kell Brook was a shell of himself when Terrence Bud Crawford faced him. I don't even like to give Bud Crawford credit for that victory, just to be honest with you. I'm just digging deep into some of these things, man. Like I said, Bud Crawford has been lately. He's been moving a lot different. He's been talking a lot different. Hey man, I just don't understand why he's downplaying Earl Spence's career, like I said. But that's another topic, another subject, and I just hope a lot of people, man, take the time out to really talk about that, because I feel like Earl Spence has done enough to get into the Hall of Fame. There are people in the Hall of Fame right now that have done a whole lot less than Earl Spence. Let's put it that way. And if Timothy Bradley, to me, who got into the Hall of Fame, Earl Spence definitely deserves to get into the Hall of Fame. That's just my thoughts. There's a lot more. I would have to go through the careers of others and be able to really put it on paper and show you what I'm talking about. But Earl Spence is a Hall of Famer, man. There ain't no doubt in my mind he's a Hall of Famer. I don't know what Bud's talking about. Sean Porter. We know that Spence beat Porter before Crawford did. There's just things like that. But going back into what I was talking about, man, and keeping it real, I got to say this right here. When I'm thinking about what's going on with Tank and Calvin, I really don't like it. I really hate it for Coach Calvin. I feel like Coach Calvin is a real good individual. And I feel like that Tank is kind of, I don't know. Sometimes people, man, when they get a certain place in life, when they start to move up in life, they forget about those that got there with them. They forget about the ones that helped them get there. And I kind of feel like that's what we're seeing with Tank now. He's not grateful anymore. And I think Tank needs to humble himself. And I think that Lamont Rhodes fight was God's way of waking him up and saying, hey, man, listen, don't forget about this man right here that raised you like one of his own, to help you get to this point in life. Coach Calvin helped Tank get to that point in life to where he is today. And I think God had to open Tank's eyes up, man. People can get cocky and they forget to humble themselves when they get to a certain place in life. And whether or not people want to say Barry Hunter's been around all this time, that's true. But Barry Hunter wasn't in his corner now time for those victories that we seen Tank get. That was Coach Calvin. People forget that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Barry and Tank have worked together behind the scenes, but not on the big stages of Tank's career. And as you see, I hold Calvin and Kenny in different regard. When I think about Coach Kenny, I look at somebody who's more of a yes man. He's whatever Tank does, it doesn't matter what it is, he's gonna find an excuse to make it right. It's almost to the point where I believe Coach Kenny, this is what type of person I think he is. Because I truly believe that Coach Calvin brought Kenny in to the, into the mix with Tank. I believe that Coach Kenny is so much of a yes man. If Tank called him today and said, hey man, we're getting rid of Calvin, you in my corner, I need you to go on this channel and say this right here, I believe that Coach Kenny will go on there and badmouth, man, Coach Calvin. That's what type of individual I think we're looking at when we see Coach Kenny. I could be wrong, but I'm usually good with people, man, when it comes to judging character. And I just see the way he moves and the way he talks on certain channels and stuff and the things he has to say. It makes me believe, man, that he really don't got no love for Coach Calvin. He got more love for being in the spotlight and for what Tank is able to bring to the table. Now, what I would like to know is this. Is Coach Kenny being paid? Because if it's true that Coach Calvin is not getting paid, he's just being, okay, listen, man, I'm a grown man. Ain't no other grown man gonna hand me bird seeds, pay my rent for me, you know what I'm saying, have me in a one-bedroom apartment when we just made 30 million. You just made 30 million, but I helped you make it. I refuse to be living in a one-bedroom apartment. I don't know who you think I am, but it's not gonna play out like that. It's not gonna play out like that. You're not gonna pay my kids' tuition. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna have me living, like I said, in a one-bedroom apartment. You're gonna give me my money, and I'll take care of my kids. I'll take care of my bills. That's how real men move. Don't act like, man, listen, I have a 6-year-old son. That's what Tank is doing to Calvin is what I do for my 6-year-old son. I pay his bills. Think about it now. You know what I'm saying? His tuition for school. This is what I do for my 6-year-old son. That's how he's treating Calvin, like he's a child. People don't want to look at it like that. People don't want to hear it. But that's just the honest God truth. He's treating Coach Calvin like a little bitty child. And that is not cool, man, because Coach Calvin seems like never met the man. I've only heard him speak. Seems like one of the most down-to-earth people you could ever meet. And I don't do nothing but have respect for that, man, and I appreciate what I see when it comes to Coach Calvin. Coach Calvin, man, is a great individual. Like I said, when I look at Coach Calvin, I look at Coach Kenny, I see two different people. I see one is having real hard and care and love for Tank. I see the other one was being an opportunist. Now, am I wrong about that? Maybe so. But this is what I see. And don't think that an opportunist can't be, because the first argument you'll hear is, I've been with Tank since he was a little kid, just like Calvin. Don't think that an opportunist can't be in your life for a long period of time, because they can. So don't let nobody tell you, man, you know what I'm saying, just because somebody been around you all their life, that they wasn't an opportunist. They seen the potential, and they ran with it, and they rode the wave. And I think that's what we have with Coach Kenny. Coach Kenny is a guy that has rode the wave with Coach Calvin and Tank for a long period of time. And for some reason now, for whatever reason it may be, you know, we heard about Coach Calvin having some issues. We know Coach Calvin's been to prison. We've heard that he's had some kind of legal issues. I still don't see how that, you know, people were trying to say that. What did that got to do with business of him and Tank? Tank had legal issues. It has nothing to do with nothing. What's good with you, my brother Thomas, man? I wanted to ask you, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to ask y'all brothers this. I don't know if y'all heard it this morning, y'all missed it, but I had to talk about it, and I want to know what y'all think about Terrence Bud Crawford was asked, and let me see if I can play it real quick. It was a question that was asked to Terrence Bud Crawford. He was on Kamaru Usman channel, and they asked him something, and I didn't like what he said. I thought it was stupid myself, but I'll see what y'all think. Hold on.
So Terrence Crawford,
let y'all hear this.
Says the dumbest thing ever. He says that Errol Spence is not a Hall of Famer. Now, before I pull out the chalkboard and break this down, let me go ahead and play the clip.
Spence will be in the Hall of Fame. No, how? He fought in one division. They already called him a weight bully. He unified. He beat Kell Brook coming off of a loss, an eye injury. He had to go over there to get that. He beat Sean Porter. Everything that I've accomplished, he's still trying to accomplish. I can retire right now and be in the Hall of Fame. He couldn't.
Man, there's so much.
Man, that right there in itself, you know, to me was crazy, considering that most of us feel like that Errol Spence is the biggest win, you know, of his career. So I don't understand what would make Bud Crawford, you know, like I said, say anything like that. Like I said earlier, man, I keep telling people, we know Kell Brook. I don't even consider that a big win for Bud, because I feel like that Kell Brook was past his prime. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. That's right, Thomas, man. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand that, why he would say that. Everybody says that Errol Spence is your biggest win. So for you to say that, if you're saying that Errol Spence don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, what did that say about your whole career up to this point? What did that say about your whole career? It makes you look bad. You saying he's still trying to accomplish what you accomplished. Well, I know for a fact that Kell Brook and Errol Spence fought in 2017. Errol Spence beat him then. You said about the eye injury. You fought Kell Brook in 2020. 3 years later, Kell Brook was a shell of himself. When you fought Sean Porter said he had already checked out. These are things, man, I'm telling you, that people, I don't know what it is with these boxers. I don't think they understand what they be doing to their own careers when they say things like this. I feel like they say it without thinking that slick and it's going to go viral. And then, boom, it does go viral, but it goes viral for the wrong reasons. And that's what happened with this whole situation, because everybody is looking at Bud and saying the same thing I'm saying, like, man, you just really hated on your own career. Man, come on, Bud. You know, they asked Bud a lot of more questions, man, even to the point where him and Tank Davis fighting. It's a real good interview over there on Kamaru Usman. They asked some of the right questions, you know, and, you know, Bud answered them. He said he'd never go back down to 147. Bud said he's not capable of making 147 now. He's too old. You know what I'm saying? There's no way he's going to get back down to 147. He would fight Virgil at 154. These are some of the things they talked about. You know, I've seen bits and pieces of the interview. I didn't know about it this morning because I don't follow Kamaru Usman. I didn't know he had a podcast. But I was able, because I do follow Dante's Boxing Nation, to really catch on to what's going on. So that's what I think about that. I think Bud Crawford basically just hated on his own career, and it doesn't make any sense. Then let me get back to what I was saying about Coach Kenny and Coach Calvin. Two people, I definitely have a lot of respect for Coach Calvin. I've never heard Coach Calvin say anything to me that was funny. Like I said, I got children. I'm always gonna hold my children in high regard and always trying to paint them in a great light. And I think that's what Coach Calvin's really doing. No matter what's going on behind the scenes with him and Tank, Coach Calvin is not gonna let you know that there's any problem, any issues. He's doing what a father figure or a father would do. Whatever goes on behind closed doors with us, with my family, it stays behind closed doors. We'll deal with that eternally. And I feel like something is going on, is something we're missing, and we don't know what it is. Like I said, I don't know Coach Kenny personally, but I do pay attention to a lot of the things he say. And I feel like that he's more of an opportunist, that it ain't the same love that Calvin had. Coach Kenny has came along for the ride. I listen to the things he said in these interviews, and Coach Kenny is willing to say anything. And like I said before, I think it's to the point with Coach Kenny that if Tank called him tomorrow and said, "Hey man, we leaving Calvin behind," I don't think it will be any respect for Calvin and what he's done or brought him into the foray or nothing. He would be like, "All right, we leaving him behind." That's what I see when I look at him. I don't see that same type of gratitude or love for Tank that Coach Calvin had. It's different. I could be wrong about Coach Kenny, but I just listen to what he says, man. He has an excuse for everything Tank does. I've never heard him hold Tank accountable for anything. And to me, it's crazy, man. They go on these shows, you ask them questions. It's to the point with Coach Kenny where he downplays every other fighter. He's not willing to say anything good, about other fighters if they have opportunity to face Tank. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. You can't downplay everybody to Tank. You know what I'm saying? When you're downplaying these fights, I say it all the time. When you talk bad about Shakur, Keyshawn, or somebody that Tank may face, you're really downplaying what Tank is able to do if he gets the victory. Because you've already put it out there that, man, he ain't on Tank level. He ain't this, he ain't that. It ain't going to be no good fight. All you did was downplay what Tank really did. And that's how I feel about that. I think we got to stop. You know what I'm saying? They got to stop doing that. And like I said before, Coach Kenny is an opportunist. I believe Coach Kenny will walk away from his friendship right now with Coach Calvin just to be Tank's head trainer. It's saying a lot, but that's how I feel about Coach Kenny. And I ain't just saying this. I told him that. He didn't answer back, but I did tell him in his DM how I feel. A lot of times I say stuff to people in their DM, they don't never answer back. Probably why I can't get an interview with him now that I think about it. I did tell him I thought he was an opportunist, and then I asked him for an interview. That didn't work out. Maybe I done that wrong. But hey, man, I don't know no other way to be but real. I'm just going to tell a person how I feel, whether they like it or not. I don't know how to be nothing else but who I am, and that's what I see. You know what I'm saying? Tommy from the Bronx, BVO, man, Mr. Hill, the chairman. BVO said Tank is a sellout. Hey, BVO, in a sense, I feel like the Tank, what has happened with Tank is phenomenal talent, but I think God had to humble him. I think the situation with Lamont Roach is because you got Calvin over here who's been with you. They used to take you to work with him, and he's been with you all his, all your life basically. And you throw Calvin to the wayside. And I think God had to bring you back to reality and say, hey man, this the man that been riding the whole way with you. You know what I'm saying? Now that the ship and got out here, you went from having a little bit of boat to having the ship. Now you want to, make them walk the plank. That's what it looked like. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they wanted Tank wanted Calvin to walk the plank. He's ready for whatever reason. I don't know. Barry Hunter, what's good, free? Barry Hunter is we can say Barry Hunter's a big name coach. We know he's had different fighters, but at the same time, like I said, there wasn't nothing wrong with the ingredients that Coach Calvin and Tank have had this whole time. I don't understand that. Can't nobody make me believe that they seen anything in Tank's armor when he was with Coach Calvin that would say, hey man, he need to go get another trainer. And we see how quick some fighters go get other trainers. They have a bad night at the office, lose a fight, they switch out immediately. But Coach Calvin seemed like to me that whatever it was, when him and Tank is in that corner together, that he can say something to Tank and it translates, and Tank go out there and take care of business. That's how it's been going forever. So I don't understand, like I said, Coach Kenny, I think Coach Kenny, like I said, he's been along for the ride. And like I tell y'all, and I said it before, don't never think that an opportunist can't be with you for a long period of time. Because the first thing somebody's going to say, man, I've been with him since he was a kid too. Yeah, you seen a great opportunity when he was a kid, so you stuck around. It happens all the time. Yes, Coach Calvin is a great, to me, a good coach. He is a good coach. I definitely agree with that, BBO. Coach Calvin's a good coach. I think he's a good man. You know, like I said, I don't know him personally. I just go off what I see. I'm usually a good judge of character, and I like what I see, man. You think I can't say Coach Calvin Cunningham is better for Tank. And the reason I say that, BBO, is because Coach Calvin and Tank ain't lost a fight. They haven't lost. It's almost like the Gary Antoine Russell, you know what I'm saying, and his brother, Mr. Gary Russell. They look great together. People can say, well, Gary Russell don't have the experience of a Robert Garcia, this and that. But, man, I don't need to see that because I know what I just saw, and they mix good together. That's real chemistry right there. That's two brothers. They got that chemistry. Tank and Calvin supposed to be, it's like a father and son situation. They got that chemistry. And that's why I don't care who it is. Man, I would not want nobody else in that corner with Tank but Coach Calvin. You know what I'm saying? That's all I want to see in the corner with him, Coach Calvin, nobody else. And like I told y'all, I don't know, Free, if y'all seen this morning, I've talked about it a few times, this dumb comment or statement that Bud Crawford just made on Kamaru Usman's podcast. If you didn't get to see it or whatever, please, what's good, Mr. Cotton? Thank you, man. Thank you for real. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you saying glad I'm on, man. That means a lot to me. I don't know if y'all got to see Terrence Bud Crawford said that Earl Spence is not a Hall of Famer for anybody that's not there. You know what I'm saying? For anybody that's not, for anybody that hadn't heard it. Y'all know what that means, right? Earl Spence is his biggest win to date. We keep saying that. So I want y'all to check that out, BVO. And I don't know what you doing tonight on your show, BVO, but definitely, man, you know I'm tuning in even when I'm at work. You know what I'm saying? If you get a chance, opportunity to BVO, you know what I'm saying, to do something, to talk about that, please talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I definitely want to see how people feel. I still feel like Earl Spence has a better resume to date. You know what I'm saying? We know that Bud Crawford does now have the Macklemore victory on his resume. You saw it yesterday, Free. What did you think about it, Free? You know what I'm saying? I definitely would like to think, you know what I'm saying, know what you think about that. I can't say Bud right. But if he is right, then ain't we right in saying that that's his biggest win to date? People looking at it. So what does that say about his resume? Two things can be true. So if you think that's right, what does it say about Bud and his resume? You see what I'm saying? Like, where do we go from there with Bud Crawford and his resume, BVO? You know what I'm saying? Because we know that, yeah, the other channels definitely turn them down. I don't want to turn nobody down. I just want to I try to give everybody their respect. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it goes farther in boxing. You know what I'm saying? You can have a opinion, you know what I'm saying, and talk about people, but not turn them down. I'm not with the turn down. I don't think any fighter or any human being should be torn down. I believe you should have a strong opinion on how you feel about him. D Free said he is full of S. He is not on the board. And what is the criteria for the Hall of Fame? Man, Free, that's what I'm saying. I'm going back. I started to go back through. I know that you do like I do. I wanted to go back through and look at some of the Hall of Famers who have got in, who have a less than stellar resume. And I'm going to go back and think about a friend, or I consider him a friend of mine, somebody that I talked to on the phone, somebody that is, in the Hall of Fame, recently got in, Mr. Reggie Johnson. I think about his career. His career, I would say, mirrors that of kind of Earl Spence in the fact, I think Earl Spencer has held more titles than him. Well, Spence fought Kell Brook. Who has Bud Crawford fought on his level? Can you name anybody that Bud Crawford had fought on his level? You see what I'm saying? Thomas Hill say impact on the sport is the critical criteria for the Hall of Fame. Right. Now, so, yeah, I agree with all that, BBO. But still, in a sense, there's people in the Hall of Fame that only held titles in one weight class. He wouldn't be the only one. That's what I'm trying to get you to look at. And I'm saying that he's had a better career and resume than a lot of people. Iran Barkley, you say Iran Barkley is better than Spence? Well, that's opinion. I mean, what weight class was Barkley at? Think about it. I think to kick, when I say Earl Smith's name, I don't have to think about it. If you think Sean Porter's a Hall of Famer, then Earl Smith is definitely a Hall of Famer. I would like to get people's opinion on that. Who thinks Sean Porter is a Hall of Famer? There you go, Free. Hagler only fought in one weight class. We ain't got to think twice about that. He's definitely a Hall of Famer. Is anybody questioning Marvelous Hagler and whether he's a Hall of Famer or not? One weight class. That was the main Free you hit, man. That was it right there. Marvelous Hagler only fought in one weight class, and we know without a doubt. You know what I'm saying? What you say? Now you my brother, but Negroes love to glaze him. Yeah. You know, I'm just trying to keep it real, BVO. What I see, and only reason I'm bringing it up because what I'm saying is, I feel like Bud Crawford is turned down his own career accomplishments. Is what I'm saying. Bud Crawford's a Hall of Famer in my eyes. So is Earl Spence in my eyes. But what I'm saying is, I feel like he's turned down what he's accomplished by saying Earl Spence is not a Hall of Famer. That's the only reason, you know what I'm saying, that I say that. Because when I look at Kell Brook, borderline could be Hall of Famer, borderline. You know what I'm saying? Kell Brook, that's a big win. Sean Porter's borderline Hall of Fame. That was big wins. Earl Spence done those earlier in his career than, Terrence Bud Crawford did. That's the only reason I'm saying that. I don't want to see Bud Crawford turn down, you know what I'm saying, his own career is what I'm saying. I want Bud Crawford to say, yeah, man. He could have said anything like, yeah, I think Earl Spence is a Hall of Famer, you know what I'm saying? It could have been anything but what he said. A lot of people are taking it the same way I took it, as if saying that you didn't do anything. You said, BVO said Bud hates blacks. He treats black media like, you know what? I've never even thought about that, BVO, but I'm trying to go through my 1,000 times of how many times I've really seen Bud deal with black media. And that would be something I would have to look into and see, because I never thought about how Bud Crawford actually treats black media. Bud just truly showing who he has always been, but he has his right to voice his opinion. Mr. Hill, I agree 100% with you. And I think what it is, Mr. Hill, Thomas, my brother, we didn't never get to hear Bud talk. Bud was quiet. Bud's always been this person, like you said, but Bud Crawford never had anything to say, so we never knew who he really was. And now that he's talking, I don't like to hear him talk. There was a time when he's being quiet worked out better for him, I believe. Now all of a sudden he didn't got with Turkey Al-Sheik. Every time I see him, he's over there. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I agree with you. That's who Bud Crawford's always been. You don't wait 37 years to become this person. This is who he's always been. And now we see what Bud Crawford is doing, man. And I thought him and Spence was cool. Earl Spence picked Bud to beat Canelo. He went as far as picking him, even though I don't agree with his pick. Hey, he picked Bud Crawford to win. So it's kind of crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like that he might, you know what I'm saying, there's a possibility that Earl Spence definitely, I'm going to say definitely. I'm going to say Earl Spence definitely gets into the Hall of Fame. I'm going to say Sean Porter gets into the Hall of Fame. Yeah, you say even Bernie tried to treat us like S until you checked it. You're right about that. I agree. I think I don't know if it's a Nebraska thing or there's just a group thing from the people from Nebraska and the way they treat people. I've always said that, one of the reasons I wanted to bring Bernie on is because I had seen how he had talked to others like Mill City and stuff when he had went on their shows and really got disrespectful, and there was no fire or feedback. Nobody shot back at him. And I felt like after a while, people feel like they can get away with stuff like that. Like people gonna let you just say what you want to, and you can go on anybody's channel. Hey, I like Bernie as a person. You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean you say the spotlight truly has never been with him, and he's really never had the reason to smell his roses to see that it is really only smells like smells like that. That's exactly what it smells like. And now that Turkey, he's able to be with Turkey Al-Sheik, he's getting the most money that he's ever gotten. And his tickets are still, he's still not selling pay-per-view wise. The numbers are still the same. He just got somebody backing him with money now, and he's able to be, you know what I'm saying, in the media. You know what I'm saying? Guess there's Omaha coming up out of them. I definitely agree with that. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm gonna say it now. I'm just a different type of person. I'm a change man. I'm a God-fearing man. I've always been a God-fearing man, but I lived a little different. And Bernie, the way he talked, I caught myself a little bit. I really wanted to go in, but I said, no, I ain't gonna do that. I'm a changed man. I gotta show a look composure. You know what I'm saying? I just gonna let them know how I feel and keep it pushing. But man, people, you know what I'm saying? It's nasty work out here with these guys feeling like they can say anything, and I definitely wasn't gonna let them, him say anything when it comes to our boxing knowledge or any of that. Cause I look at it like this: Bernie had 4 professional fights. That means he was a long time amateur, like I was. He only had 4 more fights than I had in my career, if you look at it like that. What makes his knowledge any better than mine? That's all I'm saying. You said, Alex, never discount Turkey's influence in how he speaks. You know he has his agenda and channels that people he has bought to push his agenda to, CDK. I definitely agree with that. And I think the Turkey's going to get the last laugh. And I'm talking about he's going to be laughing at the ones that's following him. I already see the way Turkey's moving, what he's doing with this Dana White issue. You know what I'm saying? Bringing him in. I think that Turkey's looking to make some big pay cuts. I think he's been paying these fighters great, and I don't know I think he's bringing Dana White in, and they're going to try to pull something. And I think it's going to be, man, a lot of people not going to like it. I'm going to say that. I don't like what Dana White does. I say it all the time. I think he's a slime ball. I think anytime somebody putting their life on the line and you're trying to pay them peanuts, it's ridiculous. Man, we could start a UFC league right now with all of us and pay what he's paying out to some of them fighters. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them fight for peanuts. And I don't even know if they got health care. I don't know. I had to look into that. But I just definitely don't like the way Dana White moves and pays his fighters. And I think Oscar De La Hoya, people can say what they want to say about Oscar De La Hoya. He's one person that's been very vocal about this situation. And he's actually making plenty of sense. He knows what's going on. And he's trying to tell people what Turkey is trying to do. But nobody want to listen. Everybody see what it look like the grass is green on the other side. I can tell you right now, that grass is about to die, and it's going to die real quick. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a bunch of weeds when Turkey get through doing what he want to do to these people. And he's bringing Dana White in to help him. And like I said, I thank Turkey for making these great fights, putting on these great cards. But in the end, I think a lot of this is going to dry up because I don't feel like, you know what I'm saying? You said if Earl gave me the opportunity he gave Bud, I would talk bad on the man's name, especially knowing talking bad on make you said if Earl gave me the opportunity he gave Bud, I wouldn't talk bad. My fault. On the man's name, especially knowing talking bad on him make my victory look small. Mr. Cotton. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying the same thing you saying. Why would you say anything bad about, you know what I'm saying, him? When you hear Floyd Mayweather and they ask, a lot of people said Floyd made the Manny Pacquiao fight look easy. I've heard Floyd Mayweather say, man, Manny Pacquiao is the best fighter he's ever been in the ring with. Think about it, him. When you ask Floyd about certain fighters, man, unless you say something bad about him, Floyd gonna make you look good because Floyd knows making you look good makes him look great. If I make you look good and I beat you, that make me look great. Thomas here, Dana White is a bit of an acquired taste. Agreed. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna say this about Dana White. I think, man, Dana White is a genius. You see what he's done with the UFC. You know what I'm saying? And the concept he got, he gonna put the best in there with the best, man. That's one thing you're gonna get from the UFC. Thomas Hill said, as Cotton Bud knew the dealings behind what was happening up towards the fight. His moves were measured and strategic. They paid off dividends for him, but not like he thought they would. I agree with that too. Because I think we can all agree that Bud felt like beating Spence would put him on the status of a Gervonta Tank Davis, a Canelo Alvarez, or Anthony Joshua. And I still don't feel like that happened. I still don't feel like, for some reason, I don't know what it is, Bud has never been able to connect with boxing fans the way that certain fighters have. Even Earl Spence was doing 300,000-400,000 pay-per-view buys. Think about that. And I would love, be interested in seeing. It would be crazy if Earl Spence came back one more fight and was able to go out there right now and do 200,000 and 300,000 pay-per-view buys. That would be a bad look for Price. What's good, my brother? That would be a bad look for for Bud. It would be a bad look for with the fans. I don't know why he can't get the fans behind him. Phenomenal talent, and I've never been able to. It's certain fighters that are able to do it. Some people get it, some people don't. Regardless of what Tank does, and I think I want Tank to understand this because I truly believe this. I think Tank has that Mike Tyson effect on people. He has that where he come from, underdog type of situation where he could lose a fight, and the fans are gonna still show up to see him fight because they feel like at any moment he could turn the lights out. That's why Mike Tyson was Mike Tyson. That's why he was still able to sell, even when at this age he went in there with Jake Paul could barely walk. We still was rooting for him and wanted to see him, and Jake Paul knew that. That's what a great businessman is. Jake Paul's a great businessman. He knew what Mike Tyson was gonna bring to the table. Man, they almost had to cut Netflix off. So many people was watching. So that's what you got to look at. You know what I'm saying? You got to know, man. Tank, I want Tank to know that. Tank, if you ever, man, fight whoever. Fight the best, Tank. Whoever they say the best is. Because win, lose, or draw, man, you going to get the people coming to see you. People want to see you. I want to see you. Doesn't matter to me about whether he wins or lose. I just want you to go out there, man, and put him on your resume. So at the end of your career, nobody has anything to say. I want them to look at you like they look at Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? When they say Manny fought everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's all I want to hear. Thomas Hill said, especially the things that were affecting Spence. He knew he wasn't right when he entered that ring, but now people haven't given him the respect he thought he'd gone from winning, but people know. Yeah. He said that son wasn't quite right with Earl, but great performance from Bud and the performance unlike, you know what I'm saying? Listen, I agree with that. I say to this day, I don't care what nobody say. I don't feel like that we saw the best of Earl Spence. And I didn't even feel like getting off into that with Bernie too much. Because I think that people, first thing they're going to say is you're only making excuses. We don't want to hear that. But I've always said that I know that. I don't know what Earl Spence was on, what was going through Earl Spence's mind or physically or whatever, but it just didn't look like Earl Spence to me. But, you know, Bud Crawford done what he was supposed to do. He went out there and I mean, dominated. And, man, and the reason I say this, I think that everybody that's on Bud Crawford's resume, prime Earl Spence beats him. I'll say that. He beats him. But for some reason, styles, health issues, or whatever, it was a terrible fight for Earl. Bud went out there and listen, shout out to Earl, man. The man got the heart. He's a warrior because he would not quit. And the referee had to save him from himself. You know, that tells you a lot. And we've seen Bud, man, stop people. So that tells you a lot about Spence, man. He just kept getting up and, you know what I'm saying? It just, man, it hurt me to see that type of beating, him take that type of beating. And now, with that type of beating, you know, even if he needed time to, you know, get heal up or get better physically or whatever it was, I don't think, with that type of beating, it might not never happen. We might not never see the Earl Spence we once seen. And we keep on hearing them say over and over that he's not prepared to come back physically. Man, that ain't from just that fight. There's a lot going on with Earl Spence. It's not just from the beating that he took from Bud Crawford. He would have been back by now. People have taken beatings before. People have taken beatings, and I'm talking about bad beatings, and came back 6, 7, 8 months later. He said, Cotton said, I hope Earl okay. I enjoyed his other fights a lot. He gave us a lot. Man, and that's what I'm saying. He gave the sport a whole lot, man. And, you know, also, I heard, I didn't like when Bud called him a weight bully. I know this for a fact. There's not too many boxers that actually, you know, fight at the right weight. A lot of those guys can be considered weight bullies. If we go back to when Bud Crawford fought Gamboa, we even talked about this with Bernie. Bud Crawford wasn't supposed to be in that weight class, really. He was campaigning there. But that can be considered weight bullying. You see what I'm saying? Gamboa was moving up in weight, much smaller individual. Bud Crawford, some kind of way, was campaigning at that weight. We know he was dropping a lot of weight to get there. So, you know, that's weight bullying. However you want to look at it, when these fighters try to call another fighter, the worst thing in the world for a fighter is not fighting in his right weight class to call somebody else a weight bully. Because if you're 15 pounds heavier than what you're actually fighting at, man, you know, whether you want to agree with it or not, that can be considered weight bullying. Just depends on the person and how you want to look at it. It don't bother me one bit. I feel like if you're able to make the weight, you're able to make the weight. That's just my personal opinion on that. But when somebody else is calling somebody a weight bully and they do it themselves, I just don't understand the logic behind that. Because we know right now, Bud Crawford is definitely, I think they said he's coming down from, he was like 185, 190 pounds, and now he's trying to cut the weight off properly and You know, so what is that? The only difference is with him and Canelo is Canelo on fight night is probably gonna come in the ring at 190, 195. Where when we see Bud, he's probably gonna be about 175, somewhere around there. You know what I'm saying? I don't see him blowing back up like that. Canelo's been carrying that weight. And when you've been carrying that weight longer, it's easier to blow up and he's gonna be much more healthier in doing it. And that's why I tell Bernie, I kind of, you know, wonder how good or how Bud's gonna fare in the fight. Those are reasons like that. We know the ability, but when you talk about ability, you have to be able to do those things. A lot of these fighters, when they fight at these smaller weight classes, is because they're able to, impose their will on the fighters they're in the ring with. They're able to do different things. Once you get to moving up, it's a different realm. It's a different, you know what I'm saying? Uh, I think he said they gonna come for when Bud. If he get caught with a good shot, Bud gonna come after him. Well, like I told him, and y'all heard me tell him, if they do that, Bud will be looking up at the lights. You can't fight Canelo like that. You can't get caught with a good shot from Canelo and think you're going to jump on him and press him. You're going to get caught with something you don't want to get caught with. And I just don't know, you know what I'm saying? You've been taking shots all your career from people 147, you know what I'm saying, whatever, in that weight class. You shoot up to 168. It's a whole different animal. He hasn't been tested. His 10 ain't, and you can say, okay, well, he's fought with guys 190. Yeah, with headgear on and big gloves. There's a big difference between sparring somebody 190 with headgear on and gloves than getting in the ring with somebody walking in there around that weight and they got them little gloves on and you ain't got that headgear to, you know what I'm saying, to protect you. People got to know the difference. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Canelo, you right, Price. Canelo gonna come in heavy. I got a feeling he gonna come in heavy. He's gonna want to be the stronger man. Definitely gonna be the stronger man. He gonna come in there and try to really, you know what I'm saying, physically, you know what I'm saying, beat Bud Crawford up. That's what I see him doing. I think he's gonna try to beat Bud Crawford up, and that's what I was trying to tell Bernie, man. If they thinking, I forgot what he said that Canelo only has one attribute. No, he has plenty of attributes. People just sleep on him. We see him do it so much, it gets so easy. We watch Canelo do the same thing over and over so much that we start to feel like that he only knows how to do one thing. Canelo does a whole lot of things great in that ring. He does a whole lot of things, and his IQ is second to none, man. He's a very smart individual, whether people want to believe it or not. Canelo is very smart in the ring. I watch a lot of his fights over, and I see a lot of the things he does. You know what I'm saying? My cousin said he want to box Bernie. Man, Bernie's 135 pounds. You know what I'm saying? He's 100. That's why I don't pay him no attention. He's a little dude, 135 pounds, man. You know, he got the Napoleon complex. You know, he one of those guys, man. He been little all his life, probably been bullied, picked on. So he got into boxing, learned how to box, and he just has an attitude that, you know what I'm saying, everybody is trying to little boy him in that sense. Nobody's trying to little boy him, you know what I'm saying? He just, that's basically what it is. He think everybody think everybody trying to little boy him. I wasn't trying to little boy him. I don't got time. I don't jump on toddlers and little kids. I don't fight little kids. I don't fight toddlers. I fight. If I'm gonna get in a fight, it's gonna be with a man. You know, I just put it that way. I ain't gonna get disrespectful. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna be nice, man. I ain't gonna call the man no little toddler, little kid. Well, I said it already. I can't take it back. But yeah, anyway, like I said, that's one of the things I feel like going on. And going back to Tank, man, I want BBO said that he think Coach what's his name, Kevin Cunningham or whatever his name, it will be better for Tank. Nobody's gonna be better for Tank than Kevin is. And the reason I say that, I'm gonna stand on that, they was undefeated up until this point. You don't change what's working, man. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We know the motto, we know the saying. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Coach Kevin and Tank was not broke. Now I don't know, like I said, what's going on in Tank's mind. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I've heard things like, Tank has been paying for, this is just things I've heard. It ain't coming from me, that he pays Coach Cabin bills. Coach Cabin don't get money necessarily after the fights. Tank just take care of all his bills. He pays his kids tuition. And like I told y'all earlier, if you think about that, these are the same things that I do for my 6-year-old son. You're not going to do me like that. You're not going to treat me like a 6-year-old. Because if you're taking care of my bills, you're paying the kids tuition, what am I doing? Just give me my money, you know what I'm saying? And let me do what I want to do with my money, if these things are true. Now, maybe Coach Cabin, and the way I can see it happening, if it's true, Coach Cabin been hearing Bill Haney and people pressing him, talking about he's broke and all these other things. And after a while, that's gonna get to playing with your mind, like, man, you know, they right. Where my money at? I want my own money. So I can see something taking place where Coach Calvin say, hey man, look, Tank, I love you like you're like my son, but I need to have my own money. And I can see Tank getting mad about that. And I can see that causing a rift between the two. But at the same time, you had to, I know you got to pay Coach Barry Hunter. I know you got to pay the opportunist Coach Kenny. So I know you're probably looking, in Tank's mind, he's probably looking at Coach Calvin like, man, I got you. I'm taking care of you. But every man wants to be able to feel like a man. Every man want to feel like a man. And just because you're paying my bills and you're paying my kids' tuition, I can't feel like no man. You know what I'm saying? You said Calvin should have made sure his business was straight. I agree with that, Mr. Cotton. I 100% agree with that. No matter what, this is still business. I love you, Tank, but this is business. And I got to get paid. And I'm thinking that a lot of this stuff we see going on is behind. You hear when Bill Haney started throwing out there. You think Bill Haney don't know what's going on behind the scenes and nobody ain't told. You people just think Bill Haney just be talking all the time. No, Bill Haney, man, is a lot smarter than people think. And Bill Haney started saying, hey, man, Coach Calvin broke. Coach Calvin ain't getting paid. I just don't think that Bill Haney would make up nothing like that. There's got to be some kind of truth to that. And I think Tank, man, if there's somebody, man, you look at it as a father figure, a man that raised you, don't give nobody the opportunity to downplay your father. Don't let nobody, man, be able to talk about that man like that. You straighten that business. You handle that. We know that they wanted, when Tank got in trouble, they wanted Tank to stay with Coach Calvin. We all knew that. Yeah, Bill definitely need to grow up a lot of times. He get on my nerves a lot. But I'm saying when that talk started happening, Cotton, Tank should have dead net. Do y'all notice? This is the one thing that I think people have never took into account. When Tank love to get on Twitter and respond to anybody, Tank gonna go on Twitter. He don't mind jumping on Twitter and responding when somebody say his name. We know that. Can anybody show me one time that Tank has responded to what Bill had to say about Coach Calvin in this situation? I mean, I could be wrong. I might have missed it. I don't catch everything Tank said on Twitter interviews, but I have never seen Tank correct that situation. And if he hasn't corrected that situation, wouldn't you think, as much as Tank loves to respond to people, that he would have responded to Bill and about that whole, hey, I'm not paying Calvin situation? That's all I want to know. Why hasn't Tank responded? Why hasn't Tank straightened that out? And now we see these things going on behind the scenes. It makes me wonder, hey, man, does it really hold merit? Does Tank feel like, man, me taking care of you is enough? As long as I take care of you, I don't have to really, pay you the 10, whatever percentage they making. I ain't finna try to get off into the analytics of that or how much somebody's getting paid as a trainer or whatever. But whatever they're getting paid, I feel like that's what happened. I'm starting to feel like Coach Calvin heard the whispers. He seen the interviews, the videos. You say you think it would? Yeah, man, definitely. You know what I'm saying? But Frida, you feel like Tank would have straightened that out, like, you feel like he would have, came forward and said, hey, man, Calvin getting paid and getting paid good. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Tank would have said that if it wasn't true. So all I'm saying is I think Tank got Calvin's best interest at heart when he feels like, I'm taking care of you. This is my father. I ain't got to pay him like I pay. We ain't got to do business like that. But business is business, and this is boxing. And at the end of the day, Calvin is a man, and he should be treated accordingly as a man. And if somebody's your father figure and they raise you, man, listen, if they say 10%, I'm going to give you 20% because I love you like that. And I appreciate everything you have done for me in life. You got me to this point. You helped me get here. We done it together. So I might not give you the little 10% that they give these trainers or whatever. I'm giving you 20, man. I'm definitely going to make sure you okay. And I just go back to when they wanted Tank to stay at Calvin's house when he was in trouble on house arrest. And Tank said he had to stay. He got in trouble for staying at a hotel because he said Coach Calvin had a 1-bedroom apartment. Now, I could be wrong, but I thought Coach Calvin had a wife and kids. Now, if Coach Calvin got a wife and kids, and he's making, good money, Tank makes real money. You can pay off Tank in his fights. As a trainer, you can live off one Tank fight a year. Man, what about the true and we said tried and true saying never dignified nonsense with a response Bill was doing and everything to turn. And I agree with that, Thomas. But Mr. Hill, you're 100% right. But this is what I'm saying. I say this right here, and it's the reason I say that. Only reason I'm saying we look at it like that. We older, we know that. But Tank responds to everything. Tank will respond to somebody talking about he chewed bubble gum wrong. He'll go in on you if he get up and wake up on the wrong side of the bed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he was. He just recently married. Pride, I don't want to believe he got a 1-bedroom apartment too, but this came up in the court documents or the court proceedings. So this come from the courthouse and everything that was said. Now I don't want to believe that. Dignified. I knew what you were saying. I knew what you were saying, Thomas E. I knew exactly what you were saying. Only thing I'm saying is we know that Tank don't mind responding to any little. Tank responds to everything. Man, he can't wait for Bud Crawford or somebody to say something for him to get on Twitter and go to war. Tank go to war on Twitter. So I'm just trying to figure out, why not say anything? You said, oh no, I was talking about Bill would lie in any situation. Oh yeah, he's definitely a liar. I agree with that. He lies a lot, but still, it's still not asking the question. Even when people lie on Tank, we hear Tank respond. I'm saying it might not be true. Like I said, this is all just alleged and what people are saying behind the scenes, and not just Bill, but other people, because Bill threw the narrative out there and people started running with it. Let's just be real. I heard it first from Bill. If y'all heard it somewhere else, I don't know. But what is making Tank why didn't hold on one second? I'm sorry. Let me pull Thomas. I got on stage. What's good, my brother?
Man, you got the best, man. I would say good morning, but it's probably afternoon your way, man.
Nah, it's 11:57 right here.
Oh, for sure. It's about to turn to the noontime. Well,
yes, sir.
Good day to you, nonetheless, man. Going back to many of the things that you were talking about, I think I don't know where I come from, stuff like that. We don't really give sense. We don't give replies to, because it's like my uncle, whenever I would tell him something that, it didn't really bear any kind of fruit because of it should have been already overstood, he would say, nigga, I'll sock you. It used to piss me off at times, bro, but I understood as I got older what he meant. Like, yo, I'm not about to give in to some nonsense. And, unfortunately, like D Free was saying, Bill be saying and doing a lot of stuff.
Yes.
And it really don't be the measure of the truth. But what it does do is give speculation. And that's speculation because you see what you see. So like there could be some appearance of it being true, but we don't know. So it's easy. And given the fact of his star power,
yes,
there are people in the streets right now, man, in these YouTube streets saying that, Tank fans are the worst and this and that. I've never seen until recently with the situation with Roach. I've never seen Tank fans verbally attack other folks, go at other people's character and things like that, like I've seen of Haney fans.
Definitely.
And it's crazy that we do this over fighters who don't even know we exist. We'll go out there and tear somebody or someone or one of the other fighters or somebody else that they don't fall down.
Yep.
For the person that we root for. And I don't understand it, man, because honestly, they're all pretty much similar with what they've been doing and how they've been moved.
Definitely.
And I mean, there could be some truth to it. I don't know. I've been told by somebody that's extremely close with him that some of the stuff that was going on between Calvin had nothing to do with what most people think about it. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure that, whatever was going on, it was much more than boxing. and you could tell because of his initial tweet. His tweet was, oh, I can't even drop it, D. His tweet was like, the fight is canceled. And many people speculated. They didn't know what it was because that's how he tweets. He responds, as you say, or he puts out stuff. Usually, like you said, he's responding to people attacking him. Not people attacking other folks, but him. And maybe he should have went out there and clarified it.
Right. That's all I'm saying.
You know, it would have been nice. Leaving it like that also lends way to speculation that, maybe there's truth to it. I don't know. But what I've told, it was bigger than boxing, and it was really like coming at him, like type stuff that shouldn't be so. But think about this. Why would somebody that's 30 years old making the money that he is making
right
want to call it quits? Something
second.
seriously got to be coming at you.
Free the link right there below.
It was a hurt sport, Tommy Hill.
You said what?
Everybody, I said because this is and salute to everybody. Salute to the chairman and to the newly named mascot of the Sports Talk Network, CDK. Salute to everybody in the building.
The mascot is in the building.
Because this is the hurt sport, Tommy Hill. This is the hurt sport, and everybody only got so long on top. Tank, he's never really portrayed himself as the dude who's willing to fall on his sword or come out here to fight the best guys, in my opinion. So if he's got the money, I think he's cool. I think that he's ready to go outside of boxing and maybe start some other types of businesses. I don't really think that's implausible.
What's good, my brother?
I've never really took a Tank for that type of dude that really loves boxing like that.
Nah, but he said that from the beginning. Even when he was a child and was interviewed, he said it wasn't
never. Dan don't know. Marky Dan don't know. He's going off his own.
And another thing, what Marky said, then who else is falling on the sword?
What the hell?
Who else is falling on the sword?
Go ahead, Free. Let me.
Well, actually, I got some inside
like
information.
A 25-year-old. He ain't thinking like a 30-year-old.
Hold on, Marky Dan. Let me hear from Free right quick.
Nobody's falling up.
What do you say, Free? Marky
Dan.
Good.
Nah. See, I think this is what I have a problem with the fans. A lot of people see a little bit of adversity with a fighter, and they start building up all of these. What's going on? Oh, this is going on. Oh, this is going on. Oh, this is going on. Nobody actually knows. Only thing that I do know is Coach Calvin came out and said the reason why he wasn't training Tank for the Lamont Roach fight is because he just got married and he wanted to spend some time with his family. So it had nothing to do with him and Tank was having issues or anything like that. And he literally said that at the fight press conference. They did an interview with a few of the guys, Roy Jones and some other guys that was up there. And he said, I just got married. I wanted to spend some time with my family. I just needed a break. I got a lot of things going on. I got other fighters that I'm dealing with. I just wanted to take a break. And so it had nothing to do. And then we see he's at the fight in Tank's corner when he had the fight. So it got to be true what he said. I didn't have time to do what I wanted to do, train Tank for the Lamont Roach fight, because I wanted to take some time for myself. I think a lot of people is just jumping to conclusions because they saw a little bit of adversity from Tank Davis that they haven't seen before, and they trying to come up with reason why it happened instead of just saying, you know what, the man had a bad night. We're gonna see what happened in the next fight.
Who is H? Y'all know, Freeze. I'm sorry. Who is H? Y'all know H. Smith.
H. Smith? Is he backstage?
Yeah.
You show his
put his camera on. I don't know him. No.
Yeah. Cut the camera on for a minute, H. Smith. If you don't mind, you backstage, so I can see who you is. If you don't mind, I can't see nothing.
That might be somebody we know. I don't know.
Oh no, it ain't. It ain't nobody we know. Ain't nobody I know named H. Hill.
H. Smith.
H. Hill.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right.
Sir, you clear.
All right.
What's up? You wanted to say something? I'm sure you wanted to say, come up and talk and say something.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's kind of off, but at first I noticed a lot of channels be talking about fans, like Tank fans and Bud fans and stuff like that. I just wanted to say, man, it's just kind of sad that the game then got to that point, you know, where we stereotyping and stuff and dividing everybody up, because it's like one person, you know, I like a lot of different fighters, you know what I mean? But when people keep saying, oh man, these Tank fans, man, they be doing this or doing that, it's like, man, that's stereotyping, man. Any kind of racism or stereotyping, man, it make my flag go up, my antennas, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Like I hope eventually, man, that trend, it don't grow, you know, where we throwing because it's a lot of good people that like all fighters, man, and they not off, and they not violent. They not online attacking people. They just enjoying the entertainment, man. But that's all. I just wanted to say that, man. I hope we can find a way to break away from the stereotyping, and it's like racism, man. Just stay away from that stuff, man.
I agree with you.
It's not healthy.
Let me tell you right quick. I agree with you. I think what's happening is, you sound like you come from that era that some of us come from on this. Most of us come from up here on this stage. We come from an era where it's okay to like more than one boxer. I think what happened is the sport kind of played down and it wasn't where it once was. People started coming back to boxing. They started really just what you want to call liking one fighter because we seen them more. And what happened is a lot of people like Tank, you would say Tank fans or David Haney fans, a lot of them don't know a lot about boxing, so they only know something about that fighter. And I think it's what's going on a lot of times. They don't know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well, okay.
Go ahead.
It's also
you
gotta think about it. It's a lot of casuals who don't follow boxing.
Yeah.
And the reason why you see so much of it is because we have social media. Back in the days when in the era that me, CDK, and Thomas Hill came from, there was no social media. So you like fighters because you watched them on TV, and it was a bunch of different fighters. You like Sugar Ray Leonard, you like Tommy Hearns, you like Hagler, you like Roberto, you like Mike Tyson, you like Evander. There was a lot of fighters that you like, and they fought against each other. Evander fought Tyson, Hearns, Hagler, Duran, they all fought each other. But you still like those fighters. But now, because we have social media, everybody can come on social media and voice their opinion. If you don't agree with their opinion, they call you a hater. And they don't understand. Everybody got an opinion. Your opinion is your right. You can have an opinion. It doesn't mean that you're right. It doesn't mean the next person is wrong. It just means that's your opinion. That's what you believe, and that's what you're going to go off of. What he believes is what he's going to go off. What she believes is what she's going to go off. That's everybody's opinion. And people don't know how to understand. Each person have their own opinion. Me and CDK can like the same fighter and have two different opinions about that same fighter. Doesn't mean that I'm wrong. Doesn't mean that he's wrong. That's just our opinion on that fighter.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Morgan Dan.
Yeah, I agree with. Can you hear me, CDK?
Yeah, I can hear you. I thought you wanted to say something.
Yeah. No, I agree with that 1,000%. I was just gonna say I don't necessarily have an issue with the tribalism we see we see with fans in boxing. I don't have a problem with that. That's something you see in literally every sport. Every fan has their team. Every fan has their favorite athletes that they go for. And like Free just said, everybody has their own opinion. I can't control that some of these Ryan fans are racist and like to push real racist narratives. I can't control the fact that some people feel like Inui is ducking and he needs to move up to 130. I can't control that. All I can do is express how I feel and my opinions on the fights. Okay, and I don't necessarily think and I heard the brother say he thinks it he hopes it doesn't spread. I mean, again, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing.
I wanted to comment on what D Free said, because I think it's absolutely spot on. And two things in particular: the time frame in which we're operating in which we express how we fan for a particular sport or particular team or entity of a sport, but also the device that we have now in this time. A lot of time people do silly stuff to get famous: likes, comments, subscriptions. We in a likes, comment, subscription type of world. But we'll do or say anything to get people's eyes on us, to bring some fame to us so we can become something bigger than what we are in the moment. These people that would talk of and discuss they're bigger than most of the peoples in these moments. And, It's easy to just say some things like that and then get a little buzz off of it. But then it gets to the point where it becomes normal. It should never be normal. I sent everybody in the chat a video of an interview with Miss Felicia Rashad.
Yes.
Excellent interview, man. And the way she conducts herself, how she carries herself, and the way she discusses our people and nature as a whole, it is all so true. But yet we allow this phone to corrupt us and make us do things like that. I have no ill will towards Devin Haney. I do think his dad does a lot of stuff that I wouldn't myself do.
Right.
But I mean, I understand that it's for a purpose to build him up, and we're in these times, so he's operating in these times. Me, I would never, no matter what time we in, I'm gonna never operate with something that I do not party myself with.
Right.
So I will never do that, nor will I give a credence to it. That being the case, we have to start appreciating ourselves and our people better than what we do, because we're better than that, and we have historically been better than that. We have historically been caring folks, considerate folks, loving folks. We got to stop all this dang shade that we throw at folks, and like D Free said, we don't know what's really going on, but we run rampant with speculation, and a lot of times we say a lot of false stuff because it generates the needle, or it moves the needle. And you know, I can't say
let me. Oh, go ahead, Thomas.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I wanted to double down on what I was saying, and when I said it's because of social media, because back in the day we didn't have social media, and the reason I know it's because of social media is because back in the day when we didn't have social media, when we talk about these fighters, we was talking to actual people that we knew. We wasn't talking crazy to those people because we knew them. And some of them we knew, and we talked crazy to them how the outcome was going to be. And some of them we just respected like that we wouldn't talk crazy to them. But now because of social media, we don't get a chance to see these people in person. We talk crazy because we over the internet. So that's why I said it's because of social media, the reason why people say, oh, you a hater, this, and that, because they can do that on the internet. They're not going to do that in real life. A lot of times when you go to these fights, some of these people are at these fights and they recognize you. They see you on your live stream. They recognize you. Some of them would even say, hey, what's going on? Or someone will walk past you like they never even seen you before. So it's because of people's on the internet, they feel like they could say whatever they want because they never going to see that person. That's the reason why a lot of this stuff is going on.
Definitely. I agree with that, Free. And let me ask you this, Free, because what you were saying about the marriage. Now, like I said, we're all on the outside looking in. And my thing is, I'm trying to bring back old school way of thinking when it comes to boxing. Like, you have an opinion, like Free said. We all have an opinion, but you don't have to downplay or, talk bad about the fighter. We just having opinions and having a conversation, and we're not being disrespectful in any manner. That's what I try to do. I try to keep it like that. Now, we hear what Coach Calvin had to say. I think Coach Calvin's a really good man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know him personally. Like I said, I just watch his interviews, the way he talks, the way people will talk about him. And like I was saying earlier, when it comes to my kids, I always try to, paint them in a good picture or a light. And I'm not going to level let personal issues with my child, be an outside issue where everybody's looking at it and able to talk about it. Could, in fact, Coach Calvin also say one thing, but it could be something else going on? Is that possible?
Oh, most definitely, because it's the same thing like with your child. Like you said, with your child can be messing up at home, but the first thing you're gonna say is, "Man, all my kids, I love all my kids. All my kids are great kids." Mm-hmm. But you know your child is messing up at home, but you're never gonna put him in a negative light in the public. Yeah. Right. You're gonna discipline him and correct them behind closed doors because you don't never want to embarrass your child in the public. So. Yeah, it very well could be something going on that we don't know. That's why I said we just out here running rampant with speculation because we don't know what's going on, but we know something is going on. We just don't know what it is, but we know something going on. So it's almost like when you have that female that you just got with and she not answering the phone, you like, hold up, man. Is she out with somebody? Is she doing this? Is she doing that? You don't know what's going on. You just know she's not answering the phone. So your mind is playing tricks on you because you don't know what's going on. It's the same thing with this situation. We don't know what's going on, and we know Tank didn't look his best, and we know that Coach Calvin wasn't training him. So we trying to speculate and put 1 and 1 together and make 2 when we actually making 7. Because we putting all these things together and ain't none of it making sense because we don't know if any of it is true.
Definitely, I agree with that 100%. That's what I was saying. I don't know what's going on. I just hold Coach Calvin in high regard as a human being. And, you know, a lot of times we talk about Coach Calvin, but I never really heard people opinion on Coach Kenny. You know, how do y'all, and shout out to my guy, Mr. Krusty Legend in the building. You know what I'm saying? I got to get that out there first. How do y'all feel about Coach Kenny? What do y'all, I don't know if y'all see his interviews and stuff. What do y'all think about Coach Kenny?
I think Coach Kenny. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna see if A. Smith wanted to lead off on this one. He been quiet.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't have no comment on him. I don't have no comment on Coach Kenny.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, Bree.
Yeah, no, Coach Kenny. I think Coach Kenny is one of those individuals. He's like a puzzle piece. He's the one that gets the 2 pieces that stick together. He's that man in the middle that makes sure everything is even across the board. And Coach Kenny is more so he's with Calvin, he's with Tank Davis. He's just there to do his job. If Tank is hiring him and Kenny to work, he's going to get there and make sure Tank is doing what he's supposed to do, make sure Calvin is doing what he's supposed to do. He's that glue that sticks those 2 together. But I don't really have a reading on Coach Kenny because he doesn't really tell you too much. He'll give you a subliminal answer, and you be like, "Okay, what the hell is that supposed to mean?"
Yeah.
What's that supposed to mean? So I can't really get a read on him, but I do know that he holds both of those guys in high regard. He's been with Coach Calvin for a long time. He's been with Tank Davis for a long time. He holds both of them in high regard, and I think he's the glue that gets both of them together.
Hey, I'm gonna piggyback off of that. To me, you know, I ask you guys, do you guys got people that like to yap a lot, boisterous and things like that, or a quiet, reserved person around you?
I got a little bit of both around me.
I don't have.
Most people like people who, you know, stay pretty much to themselves, is quiet and don't look for like attention. I think that's what
I love that in that sense. What you saying, I took it wrong. What you saying, I don't like people around me that's always looking for attention. That's the worst to me.
For sure. I think that's what we have in Kenny now. The after the fight thing, he said something on one of the shows that I think he should not have said. I think he was speaking his truth, and you know, I think he allowed that moment and all the chatter that followed the moment to spurn his questions. But we talking about a person who, when Calvin didn't have anything going but just like a few, he saw the man and the work he was putting in and said, "Hey, look, come on and work with me." And then when at one of the biggest moments for one of his youngest amateurs, he told Calvin, "Hey, man, go on and take the reign." And it was like, "No, man, this is what you do." He's like, "Man, you got a passion for this and you resonate with these kids, man. I want you to go on and get your shot, man. See what you can do." That's the type of person we're talking about, man. And ever since then, he ain't never really cared for spotlight. He ain't never cared about things like that. He works with his relationship with God, and only his relationship with the youth and the people he deal with. I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think that like I said, when you don't know a lot of stuff about something or someone, like D Free said, it can lend itself towards speculation. And then we apply things that maybe not be the thing. From what I know of him and the things that I've seen regarding interviews of him from back in the days all the way until now, he's always been about his family. He's always been about them kids. And he's always been about like the work that they're doing together to help the community and things like that. And he don't really care about much else. I do agree that last statement regarding the situation with Tank, I think it was just seeing the fallout and how people were just throwing stuff everywhere that caused him to say that. But he should not have said that. And
Yeah.
he should have just let it go because, Pepper then already worked with him and there's always been good results. Like I said, man, what you saw more so than anything was somebody that was being hella distracted, go in there and think that just the talent alone would be enough to do what he normally do. And Lamont Roach came in their game and he was ready
I agree with
and he
that.
fought.
Yeah, I agree with
So
that.
so he had to get this. So you'll see that in any given moment, man, that ring can give you something that you're not really, really expecting or prepared for. What do you do in that moment? But as far as Kenny, man, I think Kenny is a solid dude. I think that he does things to better uplift the people around him, and he just was in a moment of defense to what was going on, and he interjected his opinion, and it didn't come out in a way that probably it should have came out. But then again, like I say, man, I don't know. That's what I've given from all the information that I've acquired, like what pieces done about him from way back in the days when his daughter was really, really young, all the way into now, and the things that I know of him to be true. Like
Oh,
Calvin and Kenny, man, they do some special things for these
yeah,
children, man, and they are human, and we as humans do make mistakes.
right. You're definitely right. And I think I've been going off of what y'all saying it, what you saying, what you know about Coach Kenny. I've been going off of his recent interviews, and that's what I was basing my
Yeah,
opinion about him off of. Definitely, watching him go on Mill City and saying some things that I didn't agree with, and I think
yeah,
it comes down more to that than anything. You know what I'm saying? So,
I agree with you.
you know what I'm saying? I
I
seen
agree
the
with you
different
on
things.
that interview.
Yeah, I didn't like some of the things he said on there, and I based a lot of my opinion off of that, not really knowing. But I've always heard before then great things about him. I think now it's one of those things where he's doing a lot. He's doing a lot more interviews constantly, and he's being asked questions, and he's just giving his honest answer or
I'm
opinion on it.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry, I didn't hear what was the exact quote that caused so much controversy.
It's been different things for me that he said on there. Uh, I just been listening, feeling like I'm not gonna lie to you. I think the last interview, I'm trying to just think of what he said in my mind. But a lot of times he's asked about situations or what's going on. I don't like sometimes the way he answers questions on when he's on Mill City. You got to go and check out the interviews, and then you'll get a better understanding of what I'm saying.
Uh,
Or sometimes I think he's made to downplay other fighters on there, which I don't agree with. I hate downplaying other fighters because I think it takes away from when your fighter does get the victory. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, I
yeah,
don't like downplaying any fighter or their talent or skill level. And if you go back, just go over there and watch some of those interviews, you'll see what I'm talking about when it comes to that situation.
yeah.
but one thing that he did say
The
that
only
people
thing
didn't
I
respond. Oh, go
the
ahead, my
only
bad.
Yeah, the only thing I really know Kenny for is he has his Instagram account and he turns off the comments and then he posts some pretty
Yeah,
wild stuff. Like
yeah,
so that's all I really know him for.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead,
I
Mister.
don't
What you gonna say, Tommy?
yeah.
No, I was gonna say one thing that particularly spurned a lot of ire from folks was the fact that he made the comment that if everybody's saying it, then everybody can't be right. And
Oh yeah,
while usually in most cases that's a true thing, if you're a person and you're saying people are not right about what you're doing or saying, but everybody is saying it, then at some point in time, it can't be everybody else. It's going to have to be you. But in this case, it wasn't correct. I don't believe that Barry Pepper really was that bad in the direction that he was given.
oh
I
yeah,
thought that you could point to a lot of things. You got three voices coming at you. You got the fact that usually just in all fights, he's jovial, he's engaging, he's having things with the crowd. That ish wasn't at play in that fight. There's a lot of things. If you just sit there and slow it down, you'll see that, hey, yo, this ain't the usual dude. And I think that it was because of the things that were on him prior to this fight and leading up into this fight. The stuff that had him up there making comments about the fight is canceled. I'm
mm,
up out of this.
yep, definitely.
I'm coming to a press conference and I ain't even really care about entertaining questions or anything like that. And these are things that like he struggles with as a fighter, because you could tell by the way he bounces up there that he's not really being comfortable having people talk to him, especially when you got a lot of people saying a lot of stuff about him that they don't have no clue about. But it looks that way. It looks the part. And I mean, but this time it was totally different. And like I say, man, I mean, that being the case, when you get in that ring, all that's out the window. And we know this because, hell, Earl Spence probably shouldn't have gotten in the ring, but he did.
Right. He did.
And when he got in that ring and it didn't go his way, he didn't make no excuse. He didn't. Now, a lot of people talk bad about Earl, but there's honor in that right there. There's honor in the fact that, you know what, I just got to get that back. I didn't get it done today. And unfortunately, for a lot of people's liking, it wasn't the typical Tank look. And then there was the stuff that he said after the fight that a lot of people don't rock with, but they've been waiting. It's a song for a moment like this. Some people wait a lifetime for a moment like this, and people, you could tell by the way they celebrated. If you go back and even watch the fight, some of the stuff that they saying ain't even so, but it looked the way. He got caught with a punch when he was off balance, so it looked like he got rocked.
Yeah.
Man, you can look and tell when people got rocked, man, and you could tell by the opponent. He got knocked down. The knee was a knockdown. Well, the dudes there started counting, so there should have been a continuous of count. I agree with that. But even Lamont Roach didn't react like it was a knockdown, dog. He looked at the nigga like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, he did. He did.
Come on, man. I mean, let's call what we see, bro, and let's go by only what we see and what we know. And a lot of times we do this, and this is with all of them. Especially these elite black fighters, they catch so much flack and hate from other folks. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And like you said, man, when we were fans, we respected and loved all the boxers. We just wanted to see the fights.
That's it.
Yeah.
Now we got this stuff where we sitting here aligning ourselves with people who don't know us, who do not feed us, do not provide shelter for us. When we sick, they ain't doing no care packages our way. And we're going ham at other fan bases and other fighters. And then the fighters that they fought just to make our guy that we're rooting for look good. Man, come on.
That's it.
But I agree with what you said, though, man. I think that was a bad response in the interview. And I don't think that, it was him in his best light. But as a person, this is a person who really put himself at a lower spot to elevate Calvin, because he had a connection with them in the ring that was like electric. And I will admit that is something that is rare. When you can get with somebody and you can tap into them in the moment and be what they or say what they need in that moment to get them going. That's special, and Calvin is special in that regard.
Definitely.
And you always hear, huh?
I'm gonna say it's almost time for me to get out the door to go to work.
Man, my bad. I
appreciate y'all, man. It's always an enjoyment. I had a great time. Shout out to y'all. Salute, man. This is Sport Talk Network. Free. I'm gonna ask Free, but he gone. What time y'all going? BBO was going to be live tonight, because they're gonna definitely do their show. Mr. Smith, thank you, man, for coming on stage, man, and talking and giving your opinion. I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I just hope it's a day where we can see the fans just get together and just all have a good time enjoying the fighters, man, instead of separating from each other and saying, "Oh, if you that so and so fans, y'all stay over there, or y'all dumb, or y'all this or y'all that." Man, I was on another channel and I heard a dude talking like that. "Y'all Tank fans, stay away from me." And I said, man, we heading down a dark road, man.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, man. Let me get out of here, y'all. I'm out. Salute. Hey, prize fighter, my guy, man. Nothing but love. I'm out.
All right.